welcome to another episode of Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codo Man. Well, anyway, the month of October is over, so now you're all probably wondering what movie I'm going to talk about. Wah, 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 wah. Who said that? Wah, 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 wah. What the? Why did I hear someone speaking in a trombone noise? Wah, 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 wah. What the? Who's calling my name? Who are you? Wah, 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 wah. Oh my goodness. Well, that explains why. Apparently, another variant of mine is here. This is basically trombone Codo, but basically playing away with his trombone, like from Charlie Brown and the Peanuts. Wah, 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 wah. The Peanuts movie. Wah. That's a good idea. I actually seen that movie. The 2015 movie, the most recent Peanuts movie. Is that right? Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh. Okay, I will definitely talk about it. All right. All right, I will talk. I will definitely talk about it. Okay, so I'll take it. I'll take it from here. I'll take it from here. Trombone Kodo man. Wah, 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 wah. All right, bye bye. Well, for what you heard, we're going to talk about the Peanuts movie. And of course, I am not going to talk about this movie alone. I'm going to do another collaboration, although this time around, this guest, um, apparently he has made a few cameo appearances, but not a full on appearance in an episode. So to make his debut appearance, I'm going to introduce to my guest, Mike Codo. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hello, Mark. Thank you for inviting me to your episode of Codo Cinema. And it's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. Mike is my identical twin brother. For those of you who are listening to this episode.
Now, before we talk about the topic, I have made some cameo appearances from Mark Codo's previous episodes of Codo Cinema, which is basically Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the box office results of Top Gun Maverick and Lightyear, the second Ezra Miller update for the Flash film, and of course, Jingle All the Way.
That is true. He has made a few cameo appearances, and now this is his first full appearance in an episode. So, yep. So anyway, we are going to talk about the Peanuts movie.
Yeah, I heard that's a great film. And it's basically the highest rated film of Blue Sky Studios film, which holds an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, according to critics.
Well, that is absolutely true. In fact, it's one of the few movies from Blue Sky Studios that is actually good. Like aside from Ice Age, like you have the Peanuts movie, the Peanuts movie from Blue Sky Studios, including Robots, and of course Epic, and then a few other ones too. But for the
And
Peanuts movie, it's pretty
there's
surprising.
also Rio.
What?
There's also Rio.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The Rio films.
That's true.
The 2011, the 2011 and the 2014 film. And speaking of the years, that the Peanuts movie came out a year after Rio 2.
That's true. Yep. So anyway,
And
to give the background on the movie, the Peanuts movie, otherwise known as in some countries as Snoopy and Charlie Brown, a Peanuts movie, is a 2015 American animated comedy film based on Charles M. Schulz's comic strip Peanuts, and obviously as Mike mentioned, it was produced by Blue Sky Studios and distributed by 20th Century Fox. Although now it's technically now because now Disney owns Fox, so technically it is a Disney movie, but it's still a Fox. It's still a 20th Century Fox movie because Disney didn't buy out. Disney didn't finish the deal until till sometime in 2019. But with that being said, the film stars the voices of Noah Schnapp as Charlie Brown including some via archive audio recordings of Bill Melendez as Snoopy in Woodstock. The film sees Charlie Brown trying to improve his odds with the little red-haired girl, while Snoopy writes a book where he is a World War I flying ace trying to save his fellow pilot and love interest Fifi from the Red Baron and his flying circus. So technically, you got two plots in one movie.
Yes, there's two plots. One that focuses on Charlie Brown trying to improve himself. He's trying to improve his odds with the little red-haired girl, and Snoopy write a book where he is a World War I flying ace to save his fellow pilot and love interest.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Now, before we break down the movie, let me give a brief background on the Peanuts as a whole. The Peanuts is a syndicated daily and Sunday American comic strip written and illustrated by Charles M. Schulz. The strip's original run extended from 1950 to 2000, continuing in reruns afterward. Peanuts is among the most popular and influential in the history of comic strips, with 17,897 strips published in all, making it arguably the longest story ever told by one human being. And at the time of
Wow.
Schultz, what?
Wow.
Yes, that is impressive right there. Now, at the time of Schultz's death in 2000, Peanuts ran in over 2,600 newspapers with a readership of around 355 million in 75 countries and was translated into 21 languages. And then, of course, and then of course, and of course, the merchandise itself, together with its merchandise, earned Schultz more than $1 billion.
That is totally amazing.
Yep. And of course, you probably know most of the characters, right?
True. And we're calling Snoopy and Woodstock.
Yeah, and what about the other characters? You know, the main blockhead himself.
Yes, Charlie Brown.
Yes, exactly. Charlie Brown, he's basically the main character in the Peanuts, but he's also a bit of a blockhead. I mean, of
True.
course, according to many of Charlie Brown's buddies, including Lucy, because Lucy's basically yeah, Lucy is definitely the Lucy really pushes Charlie Brown over the edge. Lucy Van Pelt, who's basically the older sister of Linus, and he's basically characterized as a, and I quote, fuzz budget, crabby, bossy, and opinionated girl who bullies most other characters in the strip, particularly Linus and Charlie Brown.
And I'm pretty sure she did that in a Charlie Brown Christmas.
I mean, basically in almost every Charlie Brown special you probably see. Yeah, it's like a Charlie Brown Christmas.
It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown,
That's true.
including a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
She was only in it for the beginning.
Oh, only for a brief
I
appearance.
think she
When
had a
when
brief. It was a brief appearance for
when
that. I remember that, but
yeah, because she was holding up a football.
you also had other characters as well. Linus is one of them. You also have Peppermint Patty, Sally Brown, Schroeder. Schroeder's the one who plays the piano, and then
Yes.
you also have Pigpen, Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much
There's
what.
well, actually, there's Marcy, Violet, and of course, you also got other characters, which is Beefy, Snoopy, along
Oh,
with Woodstock, and of course, the Mrs. Ulthamar
for,
and the little red-haired girl's mother,
oh yeah, that's true. Oh yes, that is true. Yes.
and including Violet as well.
Yep, Violet. Is that exactly? Yep.
Those are the characters that are all in the film.
You also have like the trombone noise, which is
Yes,
basically the adults doing the.
that's right. Wah, 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 wah.
No,
Well,
Don't worry, Trumpo Kodo. I mean, I didn't call your name. Yeah, I don't know how many variants I have. I don't know how many variants I have, but anyway, let's get back on topic. Let's get back on topic. So anyway, anyway, we should probably dive into the movie.
yes.
Actually,
Also, one more thing. This film was directed by Steve Martino. He actually directed the uh, Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who, which is another film that was released by Blue Sky Studios and 20th Century Fox.
oh, that's right. And then the film was also written by Craig Schultz, who is the son of
Craig
Charles M.
Schultz.
Yeah, Craig Schultz is the son of Charles M. Schultz. No, Craig Schultz is the son of Charles M. Schultz.
You also got Brian Schultz, Cornelius Alino, Michael J. Travers, and of course, Paul Feige.
Yeah, Paul Feige and Michael J. Travers produced the movie. Same with both Craig and Brian and Cornelius Oliano.
Yes,
So, all right, blockheads, let's go into the world of Charlie Brown with the Peanuts movie.
let's do it.
So the movie opens up with the 20th Century Fox theme, although this time around is being played with the piano, and of course that's basically from Schroeder because Schroeder is a piano player, and it says it all, especially the fact when the 20th Century Fox fanfare is being played at piano from Schroeder, giving the audiences the idea of what you're about to see in the movie.
Yes.
And then of course Blue Sky Studios with Scrat the
Yes,
squirrel.
it's Scratch. And speaking of Blue Sky Studios, this is basically the second film that you're going to be the second Blue Sky Studios film that you're going to be recording since Spies in Disguise.
Oh, that is true because I also reviewed. That's true because Spies in Disguise was my first Blue Sky Studios film that I talked about.
Yes.
That's true. So anyway, moving forward, so the movie takes place in the morning. I mean, I don't know what town, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. The kid,
No, it
all
really doesn't
the kid,
matter.
the animation itself, like I gotta admit, the animation does look pretty good.
It
It's a
looks
bit of
similar to Ice Age, Rio, and Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who.
That's definitely true, and it's got that comic strip vibe to it. Like as you if you're
Yeah,
watching
it
the
does.
as it was you're because you're combining 3D, you're combining like 3D animation and a comic strip animation together into one movie. So that's actually pretty good.
It is.
And so obviously it opens up in the town. I don't know what town they're in, but I mean, what but that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because everybody and all the kids in the town wake up to find out that school's been canceled because of snow. So it's a snow day, and
Yes.
and on top of that, everybody wakes up to their alarm clocks. Even Schroeder wakes up to Symphony Number 5 by Beethoven, and Schroeder's like, "Oh, Beethoven, let me relax for a few more minutes." That's definitely true because Schroeder is not only a pianist but also a fan of music.
And also, Peppermint Patty. Don't forget, Peppermint Patty also destroys the clock.
She's an athlete
Oh, that's right.
because
And
she's an athlete too. Like you see Peppermint Patty in like baseball, like and most notably baseball, if I remember correctly.
yes, baseball. And of course, Lucy was trying to wake up Linus, and she says, "Oh, Linus, wake up! It's time to get up! Get up!"
And then, of course, all the kids are outside, but They're waiting for one other kid. Who's that kid? Well, that'll be Charlie Brown. As all the kids are saying, "Come on,
Come
Charlie
on,
Brown!"
Charlie Brown.
And then, of course, we get introduced to Charlie Brown, who's being played by Noah Schnapp. By the way, for those of you who don't know who Noah Schnapp is, he is the kid who played Will Byers from Stranger Things. Just to let
That's
everybody know.
that's definitely right. And of course, he was also in Hubie Halloween with Adam Sandler, the
That is
Netflix film, the Netflix film that came out in 2020.
that is true. That is absolutely true. So anyway, basically Charlie Brown is all dressed up in his like yellow and black striped shirt with with the zigzags,
Yes.
and then they're all going over to the they're all going over to the pond, which is all covered in ice. So basically, they're going to play a hockey game. They're going to start a
And
hockey game.
and also Charlie Brown brought in a kite along.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. He wants to he's trying to fly a kite in winter, and then of course during that whole sequence, we do get that fresh nostalgic vibe to it because remember, and it in the Charlie Brown for
Christmas.
Peanuts, the Peanuts. I like to say Charlie Brown. It sounds a lot better. Like in my
Yeah.
opinion, it sounds a lot better because in the Charlie Brown specials, like a Charlie Brown Christmas, like we get to see all the kids ice skating on in that pond. We see that in this movie. We get a few callback. We get a couple of callbacks, especially when all the kids are basically holding hands as they're ice skating along. Even Snoopy comes into the even Snoopy himself comes into the fold. Snoopy the Beagle himself,
Yes.
and then they're all having a lot of fun on ice, and it's a fun time. It's a real fun time. It's a real fun time. We even get to hear the theme, the child, the whole theme, the theme. Dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun.
dun, 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 dun.
Bum, 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 bum. I mean, come on. If that's not nostalgic enough, I mean, I don't know what is.
That theme still holds up.
It
I'm
still
not gonna
does.
lie.
It still does. So anyway, while Charlie Brown is trying to fly his kite, he struggles with it until the kite flies him because he was all tangled up in the kite.
And there are other kites on the tree inside the trees.
That's right, because Charlie Brown crashes into a tree, just like in Charlie Brown Christmas.
A tree full of kites.
A tree full of kites. So that's basically the many attempts that Charlie Brown tried to fly a kite. Charlie Brown stops in front of Linus, who's being played by Alex Garfin. Like he stops in front of him. I mean, Linus. He always has his blanket, and
Yes.
basically like Charlie Brown, what are you doing? Like Linus is already there. Like say what you will about the other characters, but I feel like Linus was basically there for Charlie Brown.
He's
Don't you
always
think?
there for him.
What?
Yes, he is. He is always there for Charlie Brown.
Yeah, he's always there for Charlie Brown. And then of course you get Lucy, who's being voiced by Hadley Bell Miller, who who was skating for a while, but Charlie Brown bumps into her, and then like after Charlie Brown crashes into the tree, especially with Linus, she walks
Yes.
on over and says, "Charlie Brown, you blockhead!" And
Yeah, and
you know why
speaking
you
of
can't
that,
fly a kite? You know why you can't fly a kite? Because you're Charlie Brown.
yeah, he's Charlie Brown.
Exactly. That's the whole point of Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown's just, I mean, as cool of a character he is a bit clumsy too. Like, like it's established in the movie that every time he's trying to be like this, in my opinion, from my point of view, he's trying to be this like perfectionist, but he fails at it a lot.
Yeah, he does. He's trying to prove himself.
Yeah, he's trying to prove
So
himself that
not
he's not just a blockhead.
no, he's just Charlie Brown.
He's just Charlie Brown. I mean, yeah, I mean, sure, he struggles, but he's trying to do everything that he can.
Every time when he struggles, he always says, "Good grief!" And the famous "Arg!"
Arg!
Every time you hear that "Ugh" part, I bust a gut laughing.
It is funny. Yeah. So anyway, going back to the film, even Snoopy joins in on the whole skating on the whole ice skating event. He skates out and grabs Linus's blankets, whipping him around in circles. Reaching out, Linus grabs Sally, being voiced by Mariel Sheets, and Linus grabs Sally's hand and he sends her spinning into a snowbank, and she's saying, "Isn't he the cutest?" Like she says that, and then like you see all the hearts coming out in the background, coming in because
Yeah.
knowing the fact that Sally's in love with Linus, and then of course Snoopy drags Linus around. He grabs Peppermint Patty, grabs Marcy, and many others as they join in, starting a game of Crack the Whip. Frida, Shermie, Schroeder, Lucy, Franklin, and Pigpen zoom across the ice, passing by Woodstock, to which Woodstock is also being voiced by Bill Melendez. You also have other voice actors who played all these other characters. You have Venus Schulthesis, Rebecca Bloom, William Alexander Wunsch, Noah Johnston, Marlik Marmar Walker, and AJ Teese. You got these characters. Look how many characters there are in this movie. These
That's a
characters
lot.
and
Characters.
many voice actors too.
Yeah.
And of
That's
course,
a lot of
Woodstock.
characters.
Yeah. And also Woodstock. Woodstock is driving me a Zamboni.
He is.
And when the whip cracks, the kids are scattered across the pond. Charlie Brown frees himself from the tree and walks to the baseball diamond, still untangling the kite from his legs. And when he's done, the string is the size of a baseball, and he decides to practice his pitching. He builds snowmen for a team and a batter, and then pitches a snowball. To his surprise, the ball comes right back at him, knocking him out of his clothes. It's going to be a long winter, he groans.
Yeah.
Of course, another callback to when I'm pretty sure there was a Charlie Brown special where he plays baseball, and when the ball comes after him, he gets knocked out of his clothes. Snoopy sees it all, and Snoopy's like, and then but Snoopy backtracks a little bit. But anyway, Charlie Brown and his buddies all see a moving truck pulling up to the house, which is actually across the street from Charlie Brown's. And as everybody runs up to see who's the kid, they all block Charlie Brown's view. He rolls up a snow mound and stands on top of it to see, but he loses his balance and crashes the fence. And everybody sees it, and I'm pretty sure that the new kid saw it, and all the kids pointing to Charlie Brown and says, "He did it," and they all run away. It's
That's
hilarious.
bas- that's basically the little red hair girl,
Yes, it is the little red hair girl.
which is the new character for the Peanuts.
Yes, exactly. And of course, I find it. I mean, oh man, you do feel bad for Charlie Brown. I mean, good grief.
Good grief.
So anyway, the next day, the snow is gone. I don't know how. I mean, it's probably. I mean, I don't know what season they are in. It's probably fall, winter. I mean, who cares? But anyway, the kids go back to school. Snoopy tries to get into school, but he's stopped by Franklin. Although another callback to another Charlie Brown episode where Snoopy goes inside the school, but as Joe Cool.
You're not elected, Charlie Brown.
That's true. You're not elected, Charlie Brown, which is the name of the episode where Snoopy. I mean, the part where part of the episode sees Snoopy try to get into school as Joe Cool, but he gets kicked out because
Yes.
he put
And
his.
because Charlie Brown says no dogs allowed.
But Snoopy goes on in, puts his paw print on the chalkboard, gets kicked out, and then the binder
Yes.
snaps his
Well,
foot.
that's very hilarious. And well, actually, the book comes out first, and then the binder comes in last.
Yes, yes. And then obviously we see that again, although the binder snaps Snoopy's paw. And Lucy throws Snoopy out of the school. Because like Franklin says, no dogs allowed. But Lucy
And
said,
no dogs. this line, "No dogs allowed." This is basically a callback from another film called Snoopy Comes Home.
Oh, that's right, because Snoopy was gonna go to this I forgot. It was an apartment.
I think yes, an apartment, and of course the beach.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
he met this girl at the beach.
Yes, and there was also when Snoopy was about to enter to this beach, there was a sign says "No dogs allowed"
Yeah.
because Snoopy is a dog.
Well, actually, he was supposed to meet up with Peppermint Patty at that beach.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wonder, where did that girl came into the fold? Like the other girl who was going
the,
to take Snoopy into her apartment for adoption. Like,
I think her name was Clara. I think she was the other character, or maybe Frida, maybe Clara or Frida, because she was the girl that actually Leah, Leah.
yeah, yeah.
That's her name was Leah.
It's been a while since I saw Snoopy come home. I mean, it's been a while.
Yes, and also the hospital and Snoopy comes home. That's basically there's a sign that says no dogs allowed.
Wow, that keeps popping up. All right, let's get back to the movie. So, everybody's in class. All the students are in class. Uh, Linus, everyone sits down. Charlie sees Linus, and Linus is doing a show and tell, showing Charlie Brown this diorama airplane, which is basically a World War I Red Baron. And Charlie Brown is surprised by it. He spins the tiny propeller, causing it to start up and take the whole thing flying out the window.
Yeah, that's basically the Red Baron.
Yep, the Red Baron. And then, of course, a little bit of chaos happened in the classroom.
And
But
I'm
of
pretty
course,
sure, one of the characters did the AUG.
yes, yes. And then you also have the teacher, Miss Othmar, who is basically the trombone player. Blah 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 blah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yes, and Miss Othmar tells everyone that the new kid will be joining the class and is basically the little red hair girl who's being played by Francesca Capaldi. And the little red hair girl walks in, takes a seat, causing Charlie Brown to be, you know,
Yeah, and Charlie Brown got a huge crush on her.
yes, Charlie Brown has a crush on this on the new girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's got a crush. So, and then Miss Othmar announces that the class will be taking a standardized test. And I like how everybody in the classroom was like, "Oh, not the standardized test."
Ah,
I like how everybody like they have all their heads facing up, and you just see their mouths like they're just annoyed. Even Linus tries to stand up for everybody in the class, but the teacher is like wah 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 wah, and Linus is like okay, we'll take the test, we'll take the test. So but then of course then of course Snoopy Impossible crawls through the vent to get into the classroom while using a yo-yo to wrap while using a yo-yo to slide down from the vent to get into the to get on top of the desk.
yeah,
Yeah. But then like here's the thing, and then here's your thing with Snoopy opening up the opening, trying to make a binder, basically using the clips. The binder clips, putting in the paper, and then the binder clips snap on Snoopy's paw. And then Snoopy gets kicked out by Lucy, and Lucy says, "No dogs!" And Snoopy's in this garbage can. He finds a typewriter and begins to type.
yes, and of course the Red Baron shows up. The toy Red Baron plane
So yeah,
shows up.
this gets Snoopy an idea to write a story.
Yes,
And So anyway, back to the school, the red-haired girl finishes her test and hands it in, and her pencil falls off her desk and rolls up to Charlie Brown's feet. He picks it up and notices that she chews on it, just like how Charlie Brown does it with his pencils.
Yeah.
So then Charlie Brown and of course Peppermint Patty are the last ones who are the last ones to hand in their tests, and the teacher reminds them to put their names on the papers. And to those who have seen this movie, like, you probably find out right away that there was a mix up. There was a mistake. Now, there was a mistake on like on whose exam it was. But if you look real closely, but if you go back to that scene where where Peppermint Patty and Charlie Brown are handing in their exams, if you look real closely, um, Charlie Brown signs his name on Peppermint Patty's test. And the reason why I'm saying this because Peppermint Patty drew a smiley face all over the test. So if you pause at the moment where Charlie Brown was writing on Peppermint Patty's paper, where it has the smiley face, and you see the pencil line, you see the pencil line, the circle pencil line, that is Peppermint Patty's paper that
Yes,
Charlie Brown signed on.
it definitely is. He accidentally wrote his name on Peppermint Patty's test paper with a smiley face, while Peppermint Patty wrote wrote her name on Charlie Brown's test, which does not have a smiley face.
Exactly. So if you go back and watch that scene again, you'll figure it out that Charlie Brown that Charlie Brown wrote his name on the wrong test.
That is a bit of a mistake right there.
That is a mistake right there, and he finds that out later on in the movie. But I just want to point that out.
Yeah, and we'll get to that later.
So so anyway, moving forward, the school is done for the day. Charlie Brown turns around and he's facing the red haired girl. He says, "Hi, I'm Brown. Charlie, I mean Barney Clown."
Could he
Yeah,
just say, "Hi, my name is Charlie Brown"?
I mean, Charlie Brown's in love.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Good grief.
So then and then he goes on. I mean, she even comes on the bus with him. Although Charlie Brown is scared, he is shy because he knows he's in love. How he's supposed to talk to this girl? Like, like he sits in the back of the bus. He sits in the back of the bus. Even the girl comes over to the back of the bus, but Charlie Brown just crawls under the seats and is like, "Nope, screw this. I'm going to the front." And then so then after that we go back to Snoopy, who takes the typewriter back to his doghouse and starts typing a story with Woodstock the bird looking on. He starts writing a few times, and each time he tears out the paper and crumbles it up. Then Linus's plane goes flying by, and Snoopy is inspired by it. And this goes into what is basically the story. Or should I say the draft, saying it was a
Yes.
dark and stormy night. Thunder roared, lightning flashed in the sky. High above the French countryside, the World War I flying ace had never been so close to his lifelong enemy, the Red Baron. And this is
Mhm.
where Snoopy puts on goggles and a scarf, and his doghouse becomes a plane, chasing after the Baron.
That's definitely right. He's telling the story of how he of the war how he was the pilot of the World War during World War One.
Yep. Imagining that the Baron is on his tail, Snoopy does a lot of maneuvers, crazy maneuvers, losing his balance and falling off the doghouse and into his water dish. Woodstock laughs heartily, but Snoopy climbs back up, not to be deterred. Now, in the great for in
It's the Great
it's the
Pumpkin.
great punk it's
It's
in
the
the
Great
pre
Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
yeah in one of the early Charlie Brown specials, it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Snoopy wears this costume, like he wears the World War I flying ace costume, and while the kids were out trick or treating, Snoopy is basically he goes on this mission to hunt down the Red Baron.
And of course, when he was about to start the doghouse, the plane, which is basically his doghouse, he says, "Attack!" He shouted.
That's right. The story flies on later.
Yes, it does.
So Charlie Brown gets off the bus like a blockhead. He goes to his house and hides behind the doghouse as the red-haired girl walks home, thinking that Charlie Brown is being a spy. Snoopy follows behind her, staying out of sight in his room, and Charlie Brown pulls down the blinds, then opens them a bit to watch her check the mailbox. Anyway, Snoopy, who's seeing all of this, realizes that his story should be a love story. Here's chapter one. Chapter one. It was the greatest story ever told. The flying ace emerged from the airport wearing his green cap, red scarf, and goggles. But when he saw his plane, he gasped. He couldn't believe this. He couldn't believe his eyes. This was a disaster.
Hmm.
You know, all the wood stocks, the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were supposed to fix the plane.
Yes, all the Woodstocks need to fix the plane, and of course, Fifi is voiced by Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, that's right. This is where we get our introduction to Fifi.
That was a great choice. I think that was a good choice
Yeah, that was
for
a good choice. And of
for.
course, I mean, they're all doing like Bill Melendez, and Kristen Chenoweth. They're doing like the noises, like the Snoopy noises, like the noises, like the noises they make, the two make.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even though it is archive audio recordings for Snoopy's voice actor.
Yes, the Queen Woods. Don't forget about Woodstock as well.
That's true. Yeah. So anyway, yep. So anyway, all the Woodstocks trying to get together to rebuild the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Fifi moved to the front of her plane and removed one of the panels. She pulled out a wrench and got to work fixing the engine. I'm pretty sure it was her plane, and the flying
Probably.
ace thought it only made her look more beautiful, and she was gorgeous, and she could fix an engine. So it looks like Fifi knows how to fix an engine.
Yeah, she does.
so and then anyway, the flying ace felt self-conscious. He rubbed most of the grease spots, but not all, from his own fur. Then he ran to the grass and picked some purple flowers. He turned to go back to the plane, but Fifi was already taking off. And then the flying ace watched in awe as Fifi flew off toward the horizon right through a heart-shaped cloud.
I could definitely tell that he is in love.
But when would he ever see her again? Back to Charlie Brown, he brings the red-haired girl a housewarming gift, and Snoopy hands him a flower. He walks up to the door, but turns away without ringing the bell.
Gung, gung. Ah! And when Charlie Brown was trying to ring the doorbell, he was about to, he was like, ah, forget it. But Snoopy ring the doorbell, and hears it. Charlie Brown was screaming, running for his life, hiding, and the little girl, red hair girl, shows up, and she says, "Hello."
Yep, she shrugs and shuts the door. Charlie walks to Lucy's house where she has a cardboard stand with a sign reading psychiatric advice for 5 cents. Obviously, call back to when, because Lucy's a psychiatric person who tries to help people,
Yeah.
but knowing the fact that Lucy is a bossy pants. So
Mm-hmm.
Charlie asks her. Charlie talks to Lucy and asks how can he impress the red haired girl, and she tells him that girls are impressed by a boy who is a winner, and the fact that Charlie Brown is not a winner.
No, he's not. He's just a he's just a he's just a blockhead.
He's Charlie Brown.
And Charlie Brown and all Charlie Brown, and sometimes and of course he always makes like mistakes. And of course he always makes mistakes like trying to fly a kite during in the snow, but unfortunately it almost worked at first, but he actually hit in a tree with all the other kites.
Yep, yep. So anyway, Lucy gives Charlie Brown some advice to read a book called Ten Ways to Become a Winner, and um, and then taps her cup, then taps her cup, her coin jar or cup, for the nickels, the
Yes,
for
and
for
I was originally gonna bring that up. He actually puts a nickel in the can for Lucy, and Lucy got the can up, and she heard the noise. Like nickels, nickels, nickels.
What's a beautiful sound. So the next day, Charlie Brown is reading the book. Congratulations, you're on your way to becoming a winner. Step 1, forget everything you know about yourself. Step 2, project project confidence. Charlie tries to strike a confidence pose with Snoopy copying him. Don't slouch. Charlie straightens his back, maintain eye contact at all times. Charlie looks into the mirror and sees Snoopy, and they have a staring contest, which Snoopy wins. Charlie hears a crash downstairs and finds Sally practicing with lasso for the school talent contest or talent show. Charlie decides that winning the contest will impress the red haired girl. So
And
he and Snoopy put together a magic act.
yeah, and for Charlie Brown, he is just trying to improve himself.
Yeah,
He's
that's
trying
what
to
he's.
prove himself that in order to impress the girl, he needs to prove himself to show compassion.
That's right. And Schroeder, and then of course Schroeder starts off the contest by playing Beethoven on the piano. Backstage, Charlie sees Lucy, who gets licked by Snoopy. Remember when Snoopy licks Lucy?
Yes, that line. Yeah, I well before that, he actually says, I oughta slug you," and then Snoopy licked Lucy.
Yeah, because Snoopy kissed Lucy, but yeah. But anyway, on stage, Peppermint Patty is karate chopping some boards, and after that act, it's Sally's turn to perform, and the audience laughs at her rodeo act. She freezes up, and Charlie comes out in a cow costume and tells her to rope him.
Yeah,
Rodeos where you get this rodeo act where you gotta tie up this cow or bull,
yes, and Sally was riding on a fake horse.
which was Snoopy.
Yes, well, actually, before she ride on Snoopy, she was riding on this the fake horse, or the horse looked like a broom or a mop. Yes, and all the children they were like boring, and I believe one of the children was like saying, "Hey, that ain't no horse," and I believe Sally was embarrassed
Sally
and
was
sad.
embarrassed, but thankfully Charlie Brown came to the rescue
So he made a change of plans.
and was able to help out with Sally's performance.
Yes, from a magician to a cow.
Yep. Everybody seems to enjoy it. The next day, Charlie's picture is on the front of the school newspaper.
And also, Sally was riding on Snoopy, pretending Snoopy was a horse.
Yep.
And you
Playing.
can hear the music playing in the background, which is basically the theme from the Lone Ranger.
Ah, that's right.
Because, and I'm gonna be honest, that theme song has been referenced a lot, not just in films but in television shows. The
That's
same could be said
true.
to the same could be said to the theatrical film The Lone Ranger with
Yep.
Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp.
Yep, that's true. But anyway, moving forward, the next day, Charlie's picture is on the front of the school newspaper when he walks into the school cafeteria, everyone says moo.
That's right. Charlie
Back at
Brown
home,
actually said it. He said it when he was a cow, pretending to be a cow. Like, moo.
yep. Back at home, Charlie remembers a line from the book, number 6. Tell yourself, I am worthy. I can do this. I have what it takes. Just then, he gets a phone call from Peppermint Patty. She tells him that she volunteered him to make cupcakes for the winter dance. And from his window, he sees the red haired girl dancing in her room and decides to learn how to dance himself, spending days practicing with Snoopy.
Snoopy and Charlie Brown were both practicing on dancing.
And then, the dance event, the dance, the night of the dance comes in, and Charlie Brown was walking in with some cupcakes, although Snoopy ate all the cupcakes.
Yeah, he definitely did. He ate all the cupcakes.
Yep.
Ah,
And they're inside the gym. The boys are on one side of the gym, and the girls are on the other side. And you get Sally drags Linus in the middle and dances with him, and
well,
then the other
before
two.
that, don't forget they actually did the dance sequence from A Charlie Brown Christmas.
That's right. That's right. The famous dance sequence from Charlie Brown Christmas. Can't forget that.
No, you can't forget that because that they actually showed it because they get up and dance.
Yep. And as I already mentioned, Snoopy ate the cupcakes that
Yeah,
Charlie
so
Brown made.
good grief.
Oh,
That's what
good
Charlie
grief.
Brown says when he saw the plate was empty. The plate was empty. The cupcakes were gone.
Good.
He because Snoopy ate all the cupcakes.
Yeah, that's true. So then, Peppermint Patty and Marcy brought in a bowl of punch, to which Charlie Brown spilled after getting stuck inside the school gym's door. So thankfully, he was able to set himself free because Charlie Brown wanted to do this dance competition to impress the girl, but unfortunately, he slips on the puddle of punch and
Yes, and Peppermint Patty was like, "Whoa!" And then there was a shower going on,
Charlie Brown
sprinklers.
set off the sprinklers. Everybody was freaking out. Even Pigpen got a shower for once.
Yes, and that girl was like, "Do I know you?" Because Pigpen got cleaned.
Yes, because Pigpen is dirty.
Well, technically, he's no longer dirty. He is
Nope.
clean, fresh.
But he gets dirty eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, the dance is over, and Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown walks home with Snoopy. Charlie's sad, and then Snoopy starts typing.
Yes.
The flying ace took to the air. Flying ace took to the air in search of his long lost love, Fifi. He flew across the sky, keeping his eyes peeled for her white plane. Finally, he spotted her. Fifi. Fifi was flying towards him. Her eyes widened when she saw him. The flying ace steered his plane next to Fifi's. She looked over at him and smiled. He did a loop in the sky to impress her. When he finished, Fifi steered her plane into a double loop. Then she took off in front of the flying ace, and he followed her. The two planes looped and dipped in the sky. Then they both dropped down and flew across a green valley below. Fifi held up a camera and started snapping photos of the flying ace in his plane. He hammed it up, striking poses for her, which is why he didn't see the old barn up ahead. Whoosh! The flying ace zipped through the barn and came out the other side, covered in hay. He flashed an embarrassed smile at Fifi, and she smiled back. Fifi steered up and grabbed a piece of cloud with her hand. Then she blew on it, and it formed the shape of a heart. It floated across the sky toward the flying ace. He responded by rolling his plane above the valley. When the plane was upright again, the flying ace held flowers in his hand. He flew up next to Fifi and extended them toward her. And then, boom! The flowers exploded. Startled Fifi and the flying ace looked behind them. It turns out it was the Red Baron circling around.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh boy. Here comes the Red Baron.
The Red Baron flew across into flew off. The Red Baron flew off into the distance, but the flying ace gave chase, and the Red Baron set his sights on Fifi's plane. He steered on right on top of Fifi's plane. Then he dipped down and punctured her wing with his wheel. Fifi's damaged plane suddenly rolled over. Taken by surprise, Fifi fell out of the cockpit. The flying ace dove down with a shriek, determined to save her. Just before he reached her, Fifi pulled the string on her parachute. She shot up in the air as the chute flew open. The flying ace banked hard, flying straight up to try to reach Fifi. As she slowly began to float back toward the ground, the Red Baron zoomed toward her. Both pilots raced toward Fifi. At the last second, the Red Baron's wings snagged the string of the parachute. Then he flew off with Fifi dangling from his wing. The flying ace flew as fast as he could toward the Red Baron. The villain himself headed toward a large mountain. A long bridge with train tracks led into a dark tunnel. Inside the mountain, a train was chugging across the bridge, headed for the tunnel. Zoom! The Red Baron zipped inside the tunnel just before the train, and the flying ace followed him. And then what we get next is Fifi's pink scarf. It flew out of the tunnel, covering the face of the flying ace, and he ripped it off, but he was too late. The craggy face of the mountain was quickly approaching. And curse you, Red Baron!
Yeah, but curse you, Red Baron. And this is where it comes in. Well, we're gonna get to that. We'll also get to that later.
Yep. So Woodstock tears the paper out of the typewriter, seeing the scared look on Snoopy's face. Snoopy takes another look at the last line he wrote. He thought he had lost her forever. And the next day, the red-haired girl's desk is empty. Linus tells Charlie that she went to take care of her grandma. The teacher announces that she is assigning a team book report, and the partners will be drawn for a bag. Lucy keeps picking names until she ends up with Schroeder. Charlie walks up and picks the red hair.
And also, the teacher also asked to do another book report, and then they all like, oh, not another book report. Yeah, so because they actually showed their faces again.
Mm-hmm. So in the cafeteria, Charlie Brown panics and tells Linus that he can't handle being her partner. He decides to do the report himself while she's gone. Everyone leaves the cafeteria to look at the test scores that are just being posted. Charlie sees that he was the only one to get a perfect score. And over the PA, Franklin announces that there will be an assembly to honor Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And in art class, Charlie is supposed to be making a sculpture out of hangers, but it just becomes a big mess. Even Franklin compliments on his contemporary piece. And after school, the kids play hockey, and Charlie shoots the puck. It flies off the pond and bounces off a tree, coming back into the pond and landing in the net. Hey, at least his clothes didn't come off.
That's definitely true.
Just like what he did with the baseball.
Yep.
So anyway, his teammates cheer for him, except for Lucy, who knows something is wrong.
Yep. She knew there was something wrong.
Yep. The next morning, Sally gives the other kids a tour of Charlie's house. At the bus stop, a group of kids is waiting for him. Snoopy of Woodstock escorts him onto the bus, wearing Secret Service uniforms. And at school, a lot of kids are wearing his style of shirt. You know, his shirt, his yellow and black t-shirt.
Well, except for Lucy.
Yep.
Well, because she still knew there's something wrong.
And Pigpen reminds Charlie Brown that the book report is due on Monday, just a few days away. Charlie decides to ask Marcy for help. Marcy is at the pond trying to get Peppermint Patty to decide on a book, but she just wants to shoot hockey pucks.
Yeah, hockey pucks.
And frustrated, Marcy leaves for the library. Charlie shows up looking for her, and Peppermint Patty says that Marcy recommended the book.
Leo Tolstoy.
Yeah.
Which is basically War and Peace.
War and Peace.
That's the name of the title.
Charlie goes to the library and finds Marcy there. She points out War and Peace, and Charlie is amazed at how long it is.
That's a big book.
Oh, trust me. War and Peace is a huge, huge book.
A giant book.
Yep. And Charlie checks out the book and puts it into a sled, dragging it home. He spends the whole weekend reading it, finishing as the sun sets on Sunday. As he writes the report, the pen he's using breaks, covering everything with ink. He picks up the red-haired girl's pencil and starts again.
Before finishing up the report, his ink was all over his hands, and he actually tried to wipe it with his shirt, and then came the swavelly lines.
Oh yeah,
it's like his yellow shirt. He's wearing a red shirt, and he was like, "Rats."
Ah, rats.
And then he saw the pink pencil, and he was because of the little red haired girl's pencil, and Charlie Brown was like, "I can't let her down. I gotta finish this report. So I'm not giving it up this time."
He was able to finish the report. He goes to school, and at the school there is an assembly. Charlie sees the red-haired girl in the audience. Lucy walks up to him and tells him she may have been wrong about him all along. Oh, okay. No, you're telling that to Charlie Brown, but okay. I see it. But don't worry, it will come to her. But don't worry. I mean,
but it's about to be unfortunately, it's about to be that time, folks.
Yes, exactly. It's that time. It's that time. Franklin calls Charlie Brown up to the stage, and Marcy reads a proclamation that it is Charlie Brown Day. Then she pins a gold medal to his shirt and hands him his test paper. He realizes that he put his name at the top of Peppermint Patty's test. He decides to be honest and gives back the medal, and he walks out alone.
It was mixed up.
Yes, exactly.
He learns that test papers were accidentally mixed up, and that Peppermint Patty was actually the one who got the perfect score.
But the thing was, yeah, it was definitely mixed up. Like, it was Peppermint Patty, not Charlie Brown.
No, so, and then Lucy was like, "Aha! I knew it."
What's actually funny about that moment when Lucy was like, "Aha! I knew it." She was wearing Charlie Brown's merch.
Oh,
man.
Gotcha.
She's been exposed, ladies and gentlemen. Lucy Van Pelt has been exposed in that movie. Like, and because she's wearing Charlie Brown's merch, supporting Charlie Brown. Lucy Van Pelt's embarrassed right now because she's wearing
Yes.
Charlie Brown's merch.
Oh.
And after all this time throughout the movie, she was only wearing that blue dress. Yet
Yeah.
she exposed herself by wearing Charlie Brown's merch. And then this next line comes from Sally, like where she says, "Can a brother and sister get a divorce?" Oh, Sally, why? Oh, what was that? Oh, ah, oh. But Charlie Brown walks out of the assembly hall, and Lyons is out there too. Even the red hair girl walks up, and Lyons tells her that Charlie did the report for both of them. She smiles at Charlie Brown, who leans on the seesaw to steady himself, but unfortunately, because Charlie Brown, being the blockhead that he is, he puts the report on the seesaw. It sends flying up in the air, and it gets shredded. Charlie Brown literally screwed up again.
And
But
this causing him to admit to the little red haired girl that he has caused them both to fail the assignment, which is basically sad.
it's a sad moment too because Charlie Brown wrote the report, and now it's shredded. It's gone,
Destroyed.
destroyed. Good grief!
And
And
I
then,
believe
of
Charlie
course, this is
Brown and
where the next and then this is where the next chapter comes in.
yes.
Chapter 4. Curse you, Red
Curse you,
Baron.
Red Baron!
Yep, curse you, Red Baron. So so Woodstock and his mechanics cranked a siren. The Red Baron had been spotted in the skies. The flying ace jumped into his plane and took off into the air. He chased the Red Baron all the way from the countryside to the city of Paris. He never lost sight of the red plane, and he followed it past the Eiffel Tower and the cathedral at Notre Dame. The Red Baron looped around and flew back to the Eiffel Tower. He pulled up at the last second, flying vertically up the side of the tower. The flying ace flew right beneath him. A drip of oil spilled from Red Baron's plane, splashing the flying ace in the face. He shook his head, sending the droplets flying. The Red Baron, they're flying all around the city of Paris, including the Eiffel Tower. This whole sequence is still going because Snoopy's trying to rescue Fifi from the Red
He's on a
Baron.
mission
And
to
then,
save the love of his life.
mm-hmm, and then of course, what happens next.
Yes.
What happens next was Snoopy's doghouse crashes
Yeah.
because the Red Baron got him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Snoopy does his final salute.
It's been an honor.
And then, of course, it crashes.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's very angry. So yeah, this is where the line comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Curse you, Red Baron.
So then, of course, you have Snoopy traveling through different locations to get, inspiration for his story. Obviously, another callback to It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, where Snoopy is like, roaming around during the night. You get the inspiration of like the aftermath of the crash.
Yeah.
Snoopy does go to different places. Like he he goes through. I believe he sneaks into Schroeder's house. He even climbs through Christmas lights right in front of Peppermint Patty's face at her house.
Yes. Don't forget the bathroom. Don't forget the bathroom and bathtub.
Whose house was that?
I forgot.
I forgot who it was.
You also got the Christmas Time Is Here song.
That's true.
Snoopy was also trying to sing.
But in the spring, but here's the thing: Charlie Brown is upset. He has failed.
Yeah, he does fail, and I felt bad for him.
Yeah, you do feel you
Trying to improve himself to falling downhill.
Here's an inspiration for a chapter. Chapter 7: Never Give Up.
And before that, he actually helped the little kid how to fly a kite.
Yeah, he never gave up.
No, he never gives up.
Yeah, he never gave up. Same with the World War I flying ace.
That's Snoopy, which is
Yeah.
basically Snoopy.
Mm-hmm.
This
Because
was
Snoopy repaired his plane and flew back to find Fifi and stop the Red Baron
and the Flying Circus.
along with his mechanics.
Don't forget the Flying Circus,
That's true.
because they are preparing for war.
Yep.
They're getting ready for war. They're preparing. They're getting ready to war. They're ready to go.
Yep, everybody's going to war. We were reached this bowling point where Fifi took apart the wings of the Red Baron.
And
Even
you also hear the musical score. The musical score from Christoph Beck.
Yep, that's true.
That's basically the icing on the cake. And the musical in the background kind of reminds me of Alan Silvestri.
It does have that Alan Silvestri vibe to it that I
Yes,
could
most
see.
notably from like the Avengers.
Hmm.
I mean, look, if you listen to like in the first Avengers film during the fighting sequence, it was like during the fighting sequence when Thor was fighting Loki.
Hmm.
This gives everyone hyped.
Hmm.
The same can be said.
Everybody's fighting in that aerial sequence. Like even the all the Woodstock mechanics were fighting too.
Yes, and I believe one of the Woodstocks threw in the crowbar or something, or the lever, and the lever to the Red Baron, and all the Woodstocks were very angry at that one bird.
Yeah. But then but then they crashed into this pastry shop.
Yes,
But they survived. They
yes,
survived,
they
so
were
that's
able,
good.
but
But
still,
now
the
it's just
animation
Snoop.
looks good. It got me the real vibes. Going back to going back to the fight, Woodstock was able to defend the Red Baron by using a screwdriver.
Like he
He was
attacked the Red Baron.
Yes, he attacked the Red Baron, like like chopping the wings out. Yes, chopping off the wings, and then you could hear the drilling sound. The
That's right, that's right. The engine is losing power because obviously the wings, you need those wings.
yes, the drilling sound for the wings by making punking on into holes.
Mm-hmm. And then but then of course Fifi, I believe Fifi falls off the plane too.
Yes, she does. And I feel like Snoopy was about ready to finish off the Red Baron,
But he has a choice. Stop the Red Baron or rescue Fifi.
but he made a choice.
Yeah.
He rescued Fifi
Yeah.
because he knew it would be the last chance to save the love of his life.
Yes, and he saved her. Like
Mhm.
Fifi fell right into Snoopy's arms. And or should I say the flying ace. And the flying ace gazed into her eyes and then looked behind him to see the Red Baron's plane disappear, a cloud of black smoke trailing behind it. The Red Baron's defeated.
Yes.
The flying ace and Fifi came in to land, setting down among the squad, and the pilot and all the pilots cheered for their hero. The battle was over for now. And as our hero observed, he was destined to face the Red Baron another day. So technically the Red
Yeah.
Baron was defeated, but he lives on.
Yeah, he still lives on, and don't forget, Lucy read the script. She was
Mm-hmm.
reading it all along, and I believe her reaction to it was a dog that can fly.
So what?
Yeah, and then she was walking away, and then Snoopy threw in the typewriter to Lucy's head. Then boink, Lucy comes back with a growly, mad look on her face. She was like, grrr. And then Lucy was like,
I got dog germs.
Snoopy and Woodstock laugh.
Yep. So then anyway, Charlie and Sally are walking to school on the last day. There's a carnival going on by the pond. Lions tells everyone that there will be a pen pal project over the summer. He picks out names, and people will call out if they want to be that person's pen pal. Linus calls out Charlie's name, and there's silence in the room. I will. Charlie looks up and sees the red haired girl. When the school ends, everyone runs to the carnival. Charlie wonders why the red haired girl picked him. Linus tells him to go ask her. He goes to his room, grabs her pencil, and then walks over to her house and rings the doorbell. Finally, he's got the courage. He didn't give up.
No, he didn't.
But unfortunately, he realizes that the red haired girl was going to summer camp.
Yes, and then
he was talking to what appears to be the mom, I believe.
The mom, the little red hair girl's mom. Let's not forget, she is the same. The character is Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews. Yes. Not only he did the trombone sound for the teacher, but also the little red hair girl's mother.
Yep.
Yes, and so yeah, Charlie Brown introduced. He actually said his name. Well, technically, he actually says Charles. Charlie Brown, ma'am,
or Chuck.
Chuck. Oh yeah, Chuck. Because Peppermint Patty says Charlie Brown's name, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck. So yeah, then he was asking about the little red haired girl, wondering where she's going.
Yep, because she was going to summer camp.
Yes, so Charlie Brown was on the run to stop her. And then, well, before that, Charlie Brown says, "Oh, and by the way, it's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am." So he's on the run for the little red hair girl. Well, in the carnival, he was running straight to the carnival. All the children were playing games, including the part where they're throwing the ball to those cans. You know, those knock down the cans.
Yeah.
The ball. And Sally was trying to throw the ball to those cans. It actually went through the middle. Sally got angry. She was trying to do it again the second time. But Charlie Brown shows up. Sally hits Charlie, threw the ball right into Charlie Brown's arm.
Yeah, it hurts. It really hurts so much.
Which got me a huge laugh. You hear the sound effects. And then there was ding! And then there was like children spraying water on Charlie Brown's mouth, spraying the water to the clowns.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sally was like, "Ugh!" because she lost again.
Yep, Sally. Yep, and then Charlie Brown keeps on running, tries to get on this train, but this train is slow, so he keeps on running. He uses the kite from the tree. The kite comes
let's
back.
Let's not forget. Charlie Brown did it again one more time. The ugh sound. Ugh! And then he continues on running.
Yep.
And of course, the kite.
The kite. He gets the kite, and the kite was flying again. He's flying the kite. Everybody sees it. Everybody, including Lucy, they all follow Charlie Brown to the bus.
Yes, they were like,
hair girl is boarding it.
Well, actually, they were like, Charlie Brown is flying a kite. Charlie Brown is flying a kite.
Mm-hmm.
And then it landed towards the little red hair girl when she was about to get on the bus.
Yep. And then finally, Charlie Brown talks to the girl, gives her the pencil back.
She says, "Thank you. I've been looking everywhere for this. I will write to you, pen pal."
Aww.
That's what she says before. Yep. That's what she says before the door closes.
Mm-hmm. And
then
she rides off. And then the bus leaves for summer camp. As the bus pulls away, she waves goodbye from the window.
Well, before the bus leaves, she was talking to Charlie Brown and tell him that I like the compassion that you showed to your sister.
That's true. Yeah. And then the kids congratulate Charlie. Lucy walks up to him and says, "This time you really gone and done it. You blockhead. You've shown a whole new side to yourself. Good old Charlie Brown."
Yes, and also going back to the little red-haired girl just for a second, she explains that she admires Charlie Brown's selflessness and determination, calling him an honest, kind, caring, and compassionate person. And that's what she said it to Charlie Brown of how he is. And then yes, everyone congratulates him and praises Charlie Brown as a true friend and carry him home. They were all very happy. It was a heartfelt ending.
It sure was. It was a heartfelt ending. Like it was a heartfelt. It was a very good ending. I liked it.
Yes, and then came the comic strip where everyone
And
was walking home.
you get the comic strip, and then you get Charles M. Schultz's signature. His the last name of his signature,
Yes.
and
And then
that's it. I know. Well, actually, before that, we get a mid credit scene where Snoopy and the Snoopy, Fifi, and the gang are all celebrating
well
for the
that's the second one.
yeah.
That's the second one. Well, before that, there was the first one where Lucy and Charlie Brown were both in the park. Lucy was holding the football.
Oh yes, the classic football routine where Charlie Brown fails to kick the football.
And she also says, and this also leads to this. Lucy promises Charlie Brown that this time she will not pull the football away from him, though she does this anyway. And then she also said this, and gullible. I forgot to mention gullible. And then there's another mid-credit scene where Snoopy, as the flying ace, celebrates his victory with his friends, and Marcy brought in the root beers to everyone.
And everybody was cheering.
Hooray! Hooray! And then, and
And
then
the Red Baron returns.
the Red Baron survived and flies past them, causing Snoopy to shout out, "Curse you, Red Baron!"
Yep. And
Mm,
then in a post-credit scene, Linus's plane is shown flying up in the sky until it breaks down and falls into a pond.
yes. And that's it. That's basically the Peanuts movie.
And for the most part, it's still a good movie. I mean, the movie the movie made over the movie made $246.2 million on a budget of 99 million.
Yes. And I gotta say, it was a great film. And I believe this film still holds up.
It still does. But almost this movie's almost 10 years old.
Yes, that film came out 8 years ago.
For the most part, the Peanuts movie, it's a nostalgic movie. You get the references, and the faithfulness to the source material. And of
Yes,
course,
and
the voice acting is good.
I believe Noah Schnapp did a fantastic job for providing the voice of Charlie Brown.
The voice acting was very good. Animation was good. The story itself is very good too. But other than that, not much else to say. I say this is a good movie.
Yes, but also the criticism was aimed for its lack of ambition.
I don't know. I mean, to be fair though, I mean, maybe a little more. Maybe there could have been a little more, but I feel like I still like it.
Yes, I actually liked it too, along with the original score. The original score was amazing.
That's true. Yeah.
There's also a song was written by Megan Trainor. Better when I'm dancing. That's the name of the song. It was played during the credits.
Yep. Yep.
But but anyway, I really enjoyed this film, and I gotta say the director Steve Martino did a fantastic job directing this film, and this film made $246 million at the box office, and of course, it received nominations for the Annie Award for Best Animated Feature Film, the Critics' Choice Movie Award for Best Animated Feature Film, and was the first Blue Sky Studios film to be nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature Film, but lost to Inside Out.
It wasn't even nominated for an Oscar.
No, it was
Uh,
not nominated. You know, it would have been nice if it was nominated for an Academy Award.
it would have been nice, but other than that, I say that's pretty much it for this movie.
Yes, I gotta say, Mark, thank you so much for inviting me to your episode.
Yep.
But my first review with you was spectacular.
Yep.
And thank you so much for inviting me on board, including the cameos from your previous episodes.
That's true, yep. You're welcome. But anyway, that is a wrap on this episode. So, what do you all think of this movie? What did you think of the Peanuts movie? Did you like the movie? Did you thought the movie was okay? I'd like to hear your thoughts. But anyway, that's it.
Thank you so much, Mark. And by the way, for those of you who are listening, thank you all for tuning in.
Alright, thank you all for tuning in to Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codo Man.
And this is Michael Codo.
Remember to watch movies and stay positive.